Hi folks, Lee here and welcome back to the channel. So you've probably seen the title of the video. It's probably quite I wouldn't say like relevant topic, but like it's probably quite fitting considering I'm doing a lot of these videos in the car. Why am I doing them in the car? I suppose just like, I'm not going to get interrupted. It makes like a kind of constant background. Like, I think the actual like mounting of the camera on like the phone holder in the car actually makes quite a good angle to do these sort of like mini vlogs from. I need to adjust that back a little bit again. So yeah, so I thought I would talk about another one of like kind of like random thoughts. I'm quite enjoying doing these videos, by the way. And it feels like I'm finally kind of like starting to do videos that aren't just like talking about like, oh, what am I going to do with the channel or whatever. So, yeah, let's get into it. So I've had this thought for quite a few months now, and it's always been weird because like there's certain things that people in the UK can like anyone can strike up a conversation with anyone about. So like the weather. So like the weather today is quite humid, quite hot, a little bit cloudy, but there is a bit of sun there. But I feel like another one of those topics is actually like the topic of driving and driving lessons. I'm not sure if it extends to like cars, but I suppose it kinda does. So, um, basically, my story with driving lessons, I started driving lessons a few years ago, um, and done them over. I would say I took quite a while. Like I took probably like a good year, maybe like a year and a half, and I done quite a lot of lessons. Because I was doing maybe like one a week, or maybe some weeks I was like missing them. So I was maybe at some points I was maybe only doing maybe one every 2 weeks. So I got everything I needed to do like before my test. So I'd done my theory, I'd done everything else, and I was supposedly ready for my test. I don't actually believe I was, but we were gonna go for it at this time. And my driving instructor called me up a few days before my test, and he unfortunately said that he had got some bad news about his health. He wouldn't be able to take me. So at that point, I didn't take driving as like probably seriously as I should have. I don't mean like on the road, like when I was actually on the road doing driving lessons, like I was proper serious. Like obviously you need to take that seriously, but I mean like my mindset to the idea like getting a driving license. It was one of those things back then where I thought like, it was one of those things I was kind of just meant to do rather than something that like I was actually like really needing at the time or really wanted to do, because at the time I was at university and I was getting the train there anyway, so I didn't have much use for a car. It was more just one of those things like, that's what people do, like they try to get a driving license. So after that, took a few weeks off, went to another driving instructor, didn't quite work out, decided to take a bit break from it completely, and then I started a job and it was far away, and that's the job I'm in just now. I live in Irvine, my job's in Glasgow, so I needed it was practical then to get a car, so I started my driving lessons up again. Got through them pretty quickly this time because I was doing like 2 lessons a week a lot of the time, and I passed my tests. It would have been March last year, yeah. So, but the thing I find weird about it is like basically anyone like it's one of those topics that like everybody wants to know how you're doing. Like with driving lessons, like it's a weird thing. Like when you're doing driving lessons, like everybody wants to talk about that. They want to talk about what kind of car you would like. They always have these personal stories about like stuff that's happened on the road, or stuff that happened during their test, or stuff that happened during lessons. And I've always found it like a weird thing to like get my head around. Like, why would that be like really fascinating to someone? And I think I've got an answer to that. I think I think what it is like, obviously, in the UK and a lot of other countries, like, you'll go to school and you'll go to primary school and then you'll go to secondary school, and then some people will go into college, some people will go into university, and that. But the thing is, like, everybody's taking that at like different levels. So like, there'll be some people that they won't leave school with much. Maybe school wasn't for them. Maybe they've got different skill sets that aren't well catered to in school. I'm a firm believer in that. Um, and then there'll be other people that do, their hires, their advanced hires if you're in Scotland, or if you're in England, you'll do your GCSEs and then your A levels, and then I don't know if there's anything like above A level, but they'll go on to do that. But driving's one of those things, like, everybody sits the same test. Like, everybody sits roughly the same theory test, and everybody sits the same practical test, unless it's changed slightly over the years. But even then, like, it doesn't change that much. Like, everybody's doing roughly the same thing, and it doesn't matter if you left school with nothing, or if you've left school with 5 advanced hires, and you're going on to do like a PhD in physics or mechanical engineering or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, everybody needs to pass that same test, and I think that's one of the things that makes it's like common ground between anyone, really, is that they can talk about, if they've done driving lessons, or they've sat a driving test, or they've been driving for a long time. Because you get people like, obviously, you get people that are like car geeks, car nerds. They've watched every episode of Top Gear like 9 times over, petrol heads, whatever, and they really like cars. But even with people that don't, there seems to be this like fascination in this country with learning to drive. Um, I don't know. It's just one of my weird thoughts. It's just one of those things I've always found weird. It's like, once I started learning to drive, like, people were fascinated with that all the time. And I've noticed as well, now that I have learned to drive, and I know some other people that are learning how to drive, and it's kind of the same with them. Like, you'll hear people talk about moments they've had during their driving lessons, different instructors, what kind of car they would like, and it's just one of those things. But I think that's probably I think that's one of the main reasons behind it, is that it's one of those bits of common ground that, like, anyone can relate to, basically, no matter what they're like. No, even though it's like a kind of educational thing, like, obviously take driving lessons, but no one's on like a different level from anyone else. Like, you don't have like GCSE driving lessons and A level driving lessons, or higher driving lessons and advanced higher driving lessons. Like, everyone's at the same level. But that's my weird opinion on the topic of driving lessons and people's fascination with them. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being weird and absolutely no one else has noticed that. But it's one of those things I've kind of noticed. So anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, leave a like. If you hated it, leave a dislike. If you think you would enjoy my content in the future, then please hit the subscribe button. And yeah, bye, guys.